to tell you about an inmate that I've been talking to for a number of months. This is a very young fellow. Amazing story with the spiritual transformation of this guy. I can't reveal too much detail about him because I'm not allowed to give away his identity. But right away when I started talking to him, he wanted to know about God. He wanted to know how to contact God, how to pray to God, how to get close to Him, and so forth. Then after a number of weeks, we've been doing this. About half the jail is engaged in a Bible study, half the inmates in the jail, on verses about answered prayer, such as 1 John 3:22, Mark 11:24, Matthew 7:7. There's quite a few that we've gone over, and we keep discussing them. It's sort of this almost jail-wide. So then this inmate started asking me more about answered prayer, but then he was telling me he was really engaged heavily in prayer in the way we were discussing, which really just involved, trying to be with God when you pray, trying to know Him, feel His presence, not have a distracted mind during prayer. At first I started telling him, just think about God while you pray, and you'll notice a big difference if you try to keep your mind on Him. Then I told him you want to be believing in Him, putting your hope in Him, thinking about how His light is everywhere, that He's shining His light into your being, your soul. Psalm 80 verse 19 says. We're just talking about all these things to do in your consciousness, your mind, while you're praying. So you stay with God, you're not distracted thinking about something else. You want to keep that prayer right with the Lord. I told him if you did, your prayer would be powerful. What's that verse? Isaiah 65:24. The Lord tells us that He'll often answer prayers while we're still saying them. And I told him that I had seen a lot of that in my life with this kind of prayer, where I really make an effort to focus on God, be with Him, talk to Him like a friend, not be distracted, and so forth when I'm talking to him. So this inmate, he goes to work on this and gets his mind aligned with the Lord. And then I started noticing some changes in him, just more excitement about praying, more excitement about God, coming to me with more theological questions when I see him, which I see him each week, sometimes more than once. So then all of a sudden he tells me, I walk up one day, this is like maybe 2 months ago or so, he tells me, Chaplain Jeff, I was praying the other night, I had my hands out like this, and I felt this tremendous light shooting out of my chest, not coming into, shooting out of my chest. Then I asked him, I said, are you sure it was not like a connection? He said it seemed to be going out of his chest to God, but he said it seemed like a connection also. And I kind of was describing that to him as like a faith connection, but where he's seeing it with his mind, his mind's eye. The Lord is revealing this to him, some sort of message or sign from the Lord, to know that everything's okay, that he's being saved, and even though his circumstances are not so good, that everything is okay with him, because he can have peace and joy for the rest of his life. So then then a few weeks later, he told me about his trial. He said he had amazing news at his trial. He's like, oh, wow. So I said, answered prayer. He said, absolutely. And he said it's not what was anybody expected. The news was so good. The point is that he's praying. The Lord is really answering these prayers. And that's what a little bit of mustard seed faith does, right? The mustard seed is actually a massive tree. Then he said to me, Chaplain Jeff, I just really appreciate all the times we've talked. He's talked to also Evan Alif, one of our KJM team members, who I know you're all familiar with, and another young guy. Those two are similar ages. And he said, I just was really lost before I came in, so lost. All the men in the cell block got wind of him saying that to me. But all these men are definite believers, and they're in this cell block where a lot of prayers being answered. They're sort of feeding off each other, all increasing in faith. So anyway, I just want to give you this amazing update about this jail inmate. But it's just really amazing news what's happening with guys that I don't think I ever would have thought about the Lord, about Jesus, about God, if they had not been here, taken out of the world of pleasure, brought to where he could settle his mind down, focus on what's important, and get straight with Christ. So, thanks for watching.